Hello everyone and welcome back to an all-new season of the Kennel. I'm your host Matthew Berry and I want to thank you for joining us on the digital channels here of the UConn Blue Line and welcome you back to an exciting season of Ice Plus hockey. Now for our first guest of the year, he's the perfect guy to help get us into the UConn hockey season. Before he came to UConn, he was an assistant coach with the great Jerry York over at BC, winning 4 national titles, and came to Stores around 2013 to head up his own program. So I'd like to welcome Coach Cav to the very first episode of the Kennel for the season.
Thanks, Matt. Nice to be here.
Awesome. Now, first of all, congratulations are in order. This is your 5th year at the helm here at UConn. When you came to Stores back in 2013, what were the goals that you had originally set for this program? And now, being here 5 years later, do you think you've met those goals?
Well, I think, when we came here, it was pretty clear we wanted to graduate players, we wanted to make them better men, and we want to compete for trophies. So I'm pretty confident that we've accomplished the first 2. We're graduating players every year. I think they're becoming better men and more mature while they're here and getting ready for the real world when they leave. And last year, we won our first trophy in the probably 13 years, I think it was. So
that was good. Classic.
Right. So that was good, and now we had, our goals are a little bit bigger for the years this year and going forward.
Now, to ask the usual basic question, where do you see the program in 5 years?
Well, I hope we're competing for national tournaments. I mean, that would be my goal. I think now that we're fully funded, and I think we need a new facility here. That's no secret. And if we get that new facility, and the school continues to put its resources behind the program, there's no reason that we're not competing for national championships.
Yeah, and with the way that the program is going, there's no doubt in my mind that those facilities and needs will be met soon. Now, over the years, again, I'd mentioned you were at BC for 20 years under the great Jerry York, and you've worked with a lot of players in your time. A lot of them have made the NHL. What are some of the intangible messages that you pass along to players, not only just on the ice, but off the ice as men?
Yeah, well, I think the guys that made the NHL really are one, they're very coachable. They like to be coached. They like to be pushed out of their comfort zone. But most importantly, most of them are just driven. It's not really any one coach. I feel there could have been any number of coaches at Boston College with the guys we had, and they would have been driven to make the NHL. And but that's not the be-all and end-all. I don't think, there's a lot of players there that didn't make the NHL, that Brendan Buckley being one of them. We played in the American League for a long time, but when a job opened up, he was my first phone call because I just thought he was such a quality human being and driven. He was driven to push himself outside of his comfort zone, and I knew he would do the same for our players.
I agree. The values that you can get on and off the ice with hockey are a huge benefit as well. Now, turning away from values, I want to look at the bigger picture, the entire hockey culture of this state. You've said in previous interviews that not only the hockey culture in this region, but in this state in general, it's alive, well, and thriving. The team every night brings a whole new energy to the XL Center. You have some top programs, including yours in the Hockey East. You have great programs down at Yale and Quinnipiac that are constantly competing for national titles. And then you have players such as Nick Bonino and Jonathan Quick that are coming out of Connecticut. What do you think needs to be done more to promote the hockey culture of this state?
Well, I'd love to see the 4 schools have a tournament. I think Sacred Heart, Yale, Quinnipiac, and UConn, if we could start our own version of the Beanpot here in Connecticut, I think would be fantastic. If we did it every year at the same time, whether it's around Thanksgiving or the Christmas break. I'm not sure when the ideal time or optimum time is to do it, but if we could do that, I think it would really energize the state even more than what it is now with hockey.
Now, outside of professional sports in general, we have a lot of youth hockey leagues in this state as well. What are some of the key pieces of advice that you'd give to the youth players and to try and build up the youth hockey leagues in this state?
Yeah, I would say be comfortable. Don't always try to make the A team. Obviously that might be a goal, but if you don't make the A team and you make the B team or the C team, then enjoy it, especially at the mite, squirt, pee-wee, even bantam level. Just the most important thing is that you're touching the puck, that you could be on the best team in the world, but if you're going out there and you're not touching the puck and you're not playing on the power play or you're not killing penalties, you're not going to develop. So I told my son, I'd rather see you on the C team playing in every situation and going out there all the time than being on the A team and not playing at all. So I think it's most important that don't worry about what level you're playing at. Just get out there and enjoy the game and make sure that you're developing by playing minutes in all facets of the game.
All right, Coach, now we're going to turn to a new segment that we always do. We did it last season. We're going to bring it back again, called Fan Questions. Every month, once we film a new episode of the Kennel, we're going to go out on Twitter at UConn Blue Line, have you guys send us questions in for our guests, and we'll have them right here for you. Now, these two are very specific questions, and they come in from Sean Foyer. Two different topics as well. We all know that you're a huge fan of golf, and in hockey as well, you have to have a good fashion statement, a very good outfit. Where do you get your ties? And this is coming from Sean.
Sean Foyer sounds French to me.
I believe
right?
so. Fits the theme of our
You
show
know,
exactly.
It's interesting you bring that up because I'm getting to the point where I'm not sure I might wear ties anymore. I don't know if I'm there yet, but I've thought about that for a long time. You know, like, to me, those are for bankers and politicians. I'm coaching hockey. I don't even know why I have to wear a tie.
Well, just in general, if you look at hockey, you see.
Again, you look at the Bruce Cassidys, the Adam Vigilnots, they have the usual set piece of the tie and the suit. Any insight on why that might be the way it is?
I'm not sure why that's the case, but, you know, most of them are hand-me-downs, my ties. Or sometimes, I'll find one in the Lost and Found and pick that up, and that's where I get most of my ties.
Well, I'd have to say you have pretty good taste then. Now, the second question coming in again from Sean. He knows you're a golf savant. Do you use your iron covers on the golf clubs? What's your secret when you're out on the links?
Geez, iron covers. Those are kind of new. You know, I've heard that they really can help your game. So I haven't had a chance to experience those yet. But I'm going to look on Amazon and see if I can find a set for my clubs. But I use golf just as a relaxation tool. It's a time, I think, to get out and enjoy other people's company. Go out and enjoy the fresh air and get a little exercise. That's how I use it. I don't really play competitively, let's say. So I use it as a fun recreational sport.
Okay, now close out the interview. The floor is officially yours. 60 seconds to say whatever you want to UConn Nation.
Well, I just hope you're out this weekend to support us. We have a team that's going to compete this weekend. I know that for sure. And we always thrive when we have the fans loud and proud at the XL Center. So hope to see you all this weekend.
All right, well, that's going to do it for the first episode of the Kennel this season.
I want to thank you for joining us. Now, as always, you can tweet us your questions or catch any UConn hockey-related content at the following social channels below. And if you haven't gone out to a UConn game, what are you doing? You're missing out on some great action here. So here are some games that you can head out to here down at the XL Center. Now, Coach, again, thank you.
Thanks, Matt. All right.
Now, he's been a great supporter of the Blue Line, and like he tells us all the time, bring the noise. Get on out and bring the noise for UConn Nation. So, once again, I'm Matthew Berry, and for myself, from the Blue Line crew,